It's a sunny day at Laguna Seca. We have a Beams car.
Okay, hold on. Start all over again.
Oh, Stephanie, I only had one of those in me.
Hold on.
All right, everyone, let's introduce ourselves.
I'm Grant with Battle Garage.
Josh Beraldi, this is my vehicle.
Raymond from Built for Battle.
All right.
Built this vehicle.
Why are we talking about this car today, Ezekiel?
So Josh is running in TRD Series in NorCal. Josh, why don't you give us a little bit of history about this car and like how Ray from Built for Battle has been involved with you?
Yeah, sure. So I purchased this vehicle back in 2016. It actually had the Beams motor in it already. And we spent the last 4 years building it back up, and kind of our theme and our goal for this vehicle was to be as reliable and simple as possible, right? To come out to the track and have fun, as well as not be broken down a lot, which seems to be more of the norm now with Corollas these days. Like the more you push a Corolla, the more things break, and today was actually a nice day that we had no issues today.
So I mean, one thing I really appreciate about the setup is that it's so simple and functional, which for me, simple and fast is a great combination. Besides the beautiful work that Ray did with the beam swap, because you guys did this swap in-house, two things that Battle Garage lent a hand to was the one-off oil cooler and then also the Annex suspension. So one thing at a time, why don't we talk about the development of the oil cooler first? So Grant, why don't we talk about this oil cooler?
Oh yeah, so Ezekiel and I are working on a kit to be a plug-and-play oil cooler setup for a Beams powered car in an AE86. We've got some various parts to get a thermostat on here and also a remote oil filter hookup. And then at the front of the car, we've got a coil rad oil cooler. So and I mean, it's worked out pretty good, right?
Zero issues with temperature today. But at the same time, I can't wait to take this to Thunderhill in the heat of summer, September, August, to really test it out.
And what made you want to get oil cooler in the first place?
Well, I guess you could say like my home track is Thunderhill, and a lot of the events we do is mainly in the summertime, and
It gets hot out there.
it's super hot, like excess of 100 degrees on track days. So my first 2 track days at Thunderhill last year, I didn't run an oil cooler at all, and I'm sure I hurt the motor a little bit because of that. Now, it maybe sacrificed some power, but today, man, couldn't ask for more. So
Awesome, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Like it's a really beautiful piece, and I like the setup. So.
Yeah, and it's always the first time out where we're worrying about fittings leaking and other stuff as we try things out, right? And so far it seems like it's been working well today, right?
Yeah, it works well. Thank you.
Yeah, so one piece of feedback I really appreciate from you is wanting to do a remote oil filter, because if we look down here, I know it's tough to see, but that oil filter is right down there next to the oil pan, which means right down there next to the floor.
And also right next to tension rod bracket too. So
Yeah,
very
so-
difficult to access.
So one thing with beam swap, it's a really tight fit between the oil filter and the tension rod. You Beams guys probably know the oil pan, how low the oil pan sits now. So I'm sure, Grant tells me, isn't that like a hot seller Beams oil pan?
Yeah, unfortunately we stock OEM oil pans because they are probably the lowest point of the entire car, and also the most critical part of the car too. So it's unfortunate, but we keep them in stock for you guys that are rubbing those things.
You hear that? In stock in California. We got
That's
your
right,
oil
that's
pan.
right.
So yeah, we developed this as a prototype for Josh. Hopefully we will have a ready to go kit for you guys who have a Beams Corolla pretty soon. One other really special part about this car is the Annex suspension, and I know like Josh has got a smile on his face right now. Josh, come here. Why don't you talk about the Annex?
The shortcoming of this vehicle has been the suspension. We've been running a basic coilover setup, running AGX shocks, and we've pretty much outgrown it. And with the CSPs today, I think the best way to put it is like there's just so much better feel and resolution from riding these new coilovers that when you're getting into a turn, you can modulate and turn in, and you just have a better feel for the vehicle in general. And my last time out here was I ran a 157, and today I ran a 150, so I shaved off 7 seconds.
7, right there, 7.
It's been great, and I can't wait to keep driving it and learn and get even faster. So thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it.
How did it feel over bumps compared to like previous setups you've experienced before?
That's a great question. So over bumps, they're much more stable and predictable. Whereas when I was running my old setup, I'd hit a bump and it, you know, I may not know what would happen after, right? And going over berms today was very easy and didn't have any issues. Whereas it was going over another berm at a different track, running my old setup. You know, you're definitely risking more. But today, you know, you're able to drive a little bit faster and more comfortable with the setup.
So one thing I'm curious about is like, do you want to tell the viewers like what else you have on the car setup wise? Because you know, 150 is smoking fast for a Corolla at Laguna Seca. I'm sure people would like to know like what else you have done to the car in terms of suspension, you know, brakes, anything else that you want to share, unless it's a secret.
No, yeah, nothing is a secret. Like all this stuff is off the shelf. Brakes wise, we're running Stop Tick brake developed by Garage Star. Shout out to Ken at Garage Star. Beams motor that is dynoed at 190 to the wheel. And this was 2 years ago, so it's probably even lower in power today than it was 2 years ago. Running ITBs. ITBs are the way to go, guys, if you're going to run the beams. I know some people say it's a little bit more expensive, but you're going to reap the benefits, and it's much more simpler to run.
It sounded amazing too.
Yeah, I know, it sounds great. Yeah, people always come up to me and tell me how great my car sounds. So yeah, that's great. Coil radiator, a white line, front sway bar, stock rear sway bar with just bushing upgrade, TRD 2-way.
We built some custom front lower control arms for it. We got panic axles in there.
Yeah, panic rear axles. Yeah.
We had Ezekiel kindly put a solid spacer in the diff.
Nice.
That was becoming an issue. Yeah, it's pretty basic. We kind of just tried to keep it that way. It's working out good.
What rear end ratio are you guys using?
I think it's the stock 4.3.
4.3.
Yeah.
Now, how's the gearing for you guys?
I think that's something I'd like to address in the future. But right now, I think I'm still not fast enough. I think until I max out on, you know, in 6th gear, then we'll have to address how to re-gear. I think overall feel from today was like the car was so planted. Like the rear end didn't come out like it used to in the past, and you know, just being able to turn in a lot faster and, you know, get on the throttle a lot sooner. So
Nice.
it was, you know, really surprised that we were able to get that 150 today. So it was great.
I think it's interesting because your setup is very similar to the setup of my car. All the way down to the spring rates, we both have a TRD 2-way. We both have a white line front adjustable bar. We both don't have drop brackets in the rear. Do you have a Panhard drop bracket, or is it?
do.
Yes.
You
Yeah,
do. I don't have that.
I do
Yeah.
have a T3, the drop bracket.
Nice. On those ones, I didn't feel like I needed it until I started getting more power. I have a 7AG20 valve. It's dynoed 152 at the wheel horsepower. But when I was at Button Willow going onto, I think it's on ramp. It's like turn 1, 2. As I'm coming out of there trying to get on the power, I could feel the rear end kind of hopping a bit, and I could tell I was like, okay, I can't really put the power down as much as I'd like. So
Yeah, I can't wait to get to Button Willow and the rest, you know, and competing in the rest of the TRD series this year. You know, I'm really excited that there is a platform and a place for us to race
Yeah.
our vehicles, right? That's and I think we're gonna kind of hopefully build from that, and we'll see where this vehicle goes in the future. So thanks, guys, for the opportunity, and you know, look forward to working with you guys in the future.
oh, thank you. Yeah, and then just want to say, you know, huge shout out to Ezekiel for helping with the development of the oil cooler kit. We definitely couldn't do it without his help.
I couldn't do it without you. What are you talking about? Work as a team.
Well, just wanted to thank everyone for watching the video, and you know, thank you guys both for bringing the car out and allowing us to try out some new parts on your vehicle.
Thanks for the opportunity, guys. I really appreciate all the great work you guys have done. Car ran great today, and you know, I look forward to working with you guys in the future. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Ezekiel,
Oh,
for the help. You know,
well,
couple
thank
little
you.
tips and
Again,
tricks.
Ray from Built for Battle. Josh, what is the lesson of today's story? Less is more, and Corolla is still not handicapped.